Okay, we're looking at a job called Frontier Village Shopping Center, and it's some ADA upgrades on this project. I did a video earlier that was on site showing the locations and what it looks like outside. Now I'm going to go through the drawings with you. You've got Area 1, Area 2, and Area 3. Area 1 is basically the base bid. Area 2 is called alternate A, and then area 3 is called alternate B. So you're gonna have to do separate spreadsheets on this. You'll have to do separate spreadsheets for area 1, and that's what we're gonna go through first. So area 1 is right here. Okay, area 1's right here. It's a small little company. I can't remember the name of it. It's on the first video. But what we need to do is remove all this asphalt in this area, and then we need to create that area in asphalt. We need to make it ADA compliant, 2% by 2%. We're going to replace that vertical curb, replace that concrete sidewalk, do some striping. You've got in these little areas where the dots are, those are the purplish colored one is a valve that we need to adjust when we put the asphalt back in. And then the 5 red things are 6-inch water valves that we just have to put a concrete collar around them. So they want them protected by concrete instead of asphalt. Okay, I'm gonna try to blow this up so you can see what I'm talking about a little bit better. Okay, there was core samples done out on this property, and around in this area, I believe it was 8 inches of asphalt. So I want to propose the asphalt removal and placement at 8 inches. This is in the blue area. Okay. So that asphalt removal, I said 4 inches, but that's incorrect. It's 8 inches. We got 56 by 50 and 65 by 23 as our removal. Placement is 56 by 50 and then 56 by 23. So it's a little bit smaller because of the asphalt we're putting in. Okay, let me see what else. Okay, so that's it on the asphalt. Now we're looking at the concrete, which is right here, the concrete pad. Okay, that concrete pad's gonna have to be broom finish. It's 4 inches, and we are looking at a 10 by 9. They want welded wire fabric in it. Okay. Then there's vertical curb. 20-inch vertical curb, 27 feet. That's this purple area, and the detail is in here. Which one is it? It's not that one. It is that one. Okay, 20 inches. That's on. I don't know what page it's on, but it's in the details. Also, on that vertical curb, it's saying that we need to put in epoxy coated number 4 rebar throughout the length of that. So we got to have 2 number 4 rebar sticks that are 27 foot each to place inside that vertical curb. Okay. Going back to the asphalt, it says on the asphalt, we don't have to bring in any extra material. On the asphalt, I believe it says existing asphalt pavement slopes exceed that. Yeah, so there's nothing on the asphalt that we need to add in there, but on the concrete, we need to add base to the concrete. So on that sidewalk, we've got 4 inches of concrete, but then we also have 4 inches of aggregate base course underneath. So we're gonna need 4 inches of rock in there and 4 inches of concrete. Okay, so going back to that pad there on that 10 by 9, we need to assume 4-inch removal of concrete and then 4-inch removal of dirt. Okay, we talked about those valves already. We've got 1 vault lid that needs to be adjusted when we put the asphalt back in. And then we have 5 6-inch water meter valves that need to be cast in concrete around them. So concrete around them, okay? They probably could be square if we wanted to make them square. They want them cast in concrete so that way they're protected. Okay, let's go to the striping. Striping, there's 56 feet of stall line, there's 80 feet of crosshatch, one ADA symbol, one 8-inch compact, one ADA sign and post on a U-channel post. So if you plug in the Telspar posts, you'd probably be okay for pricing. And then they want a painted arrow to be put back in. Let's see. I think that's everything on this. The first video shows where there's staging available out here. We'll have to close this area down, so we're going to want to make sure that we've got cones and caution tape so that we can block off this area. People will be able to drive around us, but we needed to block it off so that way we have access to all that area, that work zone. And then there's an actual parking back here behind the building that we can use too while we're there. All right, so that is area number 1. Let's go to area number 2. Area number 2, if you're looking at this map, you've got right here, and I believe that's Heritage Bank. It has a little drive-through that goes to the back, and then it has ADA upgrades in the front. That area in the back is going to be a bid option, and that is for crack fill. They got 500 lineal feet of crack fill as a bid option for area number 2. Okay. Let's look at how this thing lays out here. So, hold on here. Okay, the blue highlighted area is everything out in the front. We need to remove that asphalt, replace it. We're going to use 8 inches again. And the dimensions on that for the R&R is 19 by 59, 65 by 43, and 10 by 10. I noticed on the drawings they have plugged in square yards, so we can kind of compare my notes with the square yards if we want. Let me see here. Okay, so I gave you my dimensions on area 2 for remove and replacement. They're saying it's 442 square yards, which equals out to 3,578 square feet. So we could compare their footage with what I came up with. Okay, so that's the asphalt portion of it. Now let's talk about this vertical curb that's in here. That vertical curb, which is 20 inches tall, that is 27 feet. 27 feet long. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. Wrong one. The vertical curb is 52 feet long. Okay, 52 feet. That means we have to have the number 4 rebar running horizontally in this curbing. We need 2 sets of rebar running through there. So that's 104 feet of number 4 rebar, epoxy coated. Okay, restore the landscaping. There's 100 square feet plus 117 square feet. That's this area in green, and then this area in red. Okay, we'll get back to that. Remove and replace concrete sidewalk, 23 by 7, 4-inch depth. They want that welded fabric inside of it, broom finish. Okay, 23 by 7. Then there's a concrete pad that's right here and right here. Both are also 4 inches. Okay. So you've got, hold on. So this is a 7 by 5 here. And then in this area right there, that is a 5 by 5 concrete pad. Okay. You see 25 square feet. All right. So that concrete pad though, we don't have to put the mesh in, I don't believe. We just need it for the other stuff. But you know what? Why don't you just plug it in there? Let's plug in the wire mesh for all of it. So the welded wire fabric for all this concrete through here. Okay, then there's removal of concrete, which is right in here, in this area. That area right there is removal only. That's 117 square feet in that area. Okay, so 117 square feet of concrete removal, 4 inches. All right. Last thing to discuss is the striping and the ADA sign. So we've got 2 arrows, one here, one down here. We've got 100 feet of stall line, 1 ADA, 180 feet of crosshatch, 1 ADA sign and post. That's going to go in the landscaping, and use the Telspar post for pricing. I already talked about the arrows, and actually don't look at that crack fill. I said 200 there, but it's the bid option for the crack fill was 500 feet. Okay, so I think that covers area 2. Okay, so that's on all separate spreadsheets. Now we're looking at area 3. So on the map, area 3 is Key Bank. And you can see there's quite a bit of work here. Where that green area is there, it's, I believe, crackfill. Yeah, according to the note legend in green, that's crack seal. So down here, we've got a bid option for 500 feet of crack fill in that area in the green, okay? Now what we're looking at is we're looking at that blue area for area 3. Okay, so in this blue area, all of this and all of this along the side, you'll see in my first video, I walked it, but that's all asphalt removal and replacement. This here is not going to be 8 inches. We're going to go with 6 inches on this asphalt here. Okay, so remove and replace that asphalt. We've got 10 by 25 and 61 by 43. If we want to compare notes, okay, so I gave my dimensions on the R&R for the asphalt. If you were to break it down based on what they have on the site plan, it comes out to 2,646 square feet that they have on the drawing. So we'll compare notes, and I want to go with the higher number. I don't want to be short. Okay, there's one two water meters there that we need to cast in place. So we got to put a concrete collar basically around it to protect the lids. Okay, and I think those can be at 4 inches. We've got concrete sidewalk remove and replace here. 4-inch depth. That's in the gray. Okay. We've got 380 square feet plus 140 square feet. That also includes this purple area right here. Okay. So removing all of that, replacing all of it. You'll see in my first video, this is right up against the building, and it's got a couple posts, got some windows, so we're gonna have to protect those areas. Okay, then we're looking at within that sidewalk there's one area where we're gonna have an ADA ramp going in 2 different directions in a truncated dome. That's gonna be right about here in this area. There'll be a landing here and 2 ramps. This is what it looks like. It'll have curbing on the backside. It'll have the integral curb in the front, and then we'll have the sidewalk. It will be poured separately. It's not monolithic, so just giving you a heads up on that. Okay, now looking at that reddish purple line, that is curbing, but this is a little thicker curbing. The last stuff I showed you was 20-inch vertical curb. This is 24-inch vertical curb, and there's 40 feet of it. On this detail, it shows that there are 3 sets of rebar in it, epoxy coated number 4 rebar. So there's 3 sets of that. So you got to go 3 of those times 40 feet. So we got 120 feet of number 4 epoxy coated rebar for that curb. And then over here in the purple section, okay, going from basically here to there, we've got 8 lineal feet. Now this area right here, it's going to be a little bit different, but I'll show you the footage here just a second. So this is what it's looking like here on this curbing. It's basically the 24-inch curb, but it has to be painted yellow because that's where the ramp's going to be. So it's going to have 6 inches exposed on the asphalt side, and then it's going to be a little bit less on the sidewalk side. So let's just add more 24-inch curbing, and we're gonna have it's gonna go 5 foot plus 5 foot, and then you've got an additional 5 foot, so 15. There's about 20, it's about 22 feet additional there. Okay, so on the 24-inch vertical curb, we now have a total of 62 feet of 24-inch vertical curb, and then we've got that little 8-foot section of 20-inch vertical curb. All right, let's talk about the striping. 180 feet of stall striping, one ADA symbol, 170 feet of crosshatch, one ADA sign on tailspar post, but it's going to be put in asphalt, so we're going to want to put like a sleeve or something in the ground when we go to do the asphalt, or just we're going to have to puncture through the asphalt and put that sign through. Remove and replace wheel stops. There's 3 of them, and those 3 are going to be down here. We'll remove it when we go to do the asphalt work, and then we're going to salvage those wheel stops and reinstall them. Then there's 2 wheel stops that are right here that we need to remove those. Okay, we have to remove those. There are 2 existing signs and posts here that we need to salvage and reinstall. We talked about the water valves needing the collars. There's 2 of those. Reinstall existing sign and posts. I already talked about that. Restore landscape. There's 72 square feet of landscape to restore. And then the last thing is there's 2 ADA signs with arrows that need to be mounted on the concrete wall. And that is right here. So there's a concrete wall there that we need to install those signs onto. And that looks like, I have a picture here. Oh, it's right here. So you can see it got the ADA sign with a little arrow on it. It's a 12 by 18, and it mounts onto the concrete wall. So the labor on this, with the asphalt on area 1, well, with everything on area 1, I'm going to say we're probably looking at 1 day of asphalt. Then we're looking at 1 day of concrete. To do this, we probably can form and pour that vertical to curb as well. So I'd probably say day 2 would be concrete. We've also got, these little things to pour collars on, a little cast in place around the valves there. I would imagine we can do that as well. So far I'm up to 2 days, and then probably a 3rd day to go in, do the striping, and put in the signage. Okay, so as I'm looking at it right now, I believe that's going to be 3 days. 3 days on area 1. On area 2, it's a good sized chunk of asphalt, but I'm thinking that it's going to be around 178 tons. But I think we'll be able to do that in 1 day, remove it, replace it. Okay, so 1 day for asphalt. I'm going to put 2 days for the concrete because of that curbing that needs to go in, and then removing and replacing that sidewalk. I'm going to say 2 days on the concrete work for the curbing and the sidewalk. And then we've got on day 4, so 1 day then of striping. So a total of 4 days. 1 day for asphalt, 2 days for concrete, and 1 day for striping. Okay, looking into the last part here. And by the way, on area 3, there was a note about handrail, and I'm not doing it. I'm not putting in price for the handrail. As far as the asphalt goes, the asphalt, we're looking at pretty similar square footages. It might be up around just over 200. A little over 200 tons, but I think we can do it. So day 1 would be here and here, I believe. I'm not sure if we'd be able to, or maybe that will be 2 days on that, on the asphalt. You'll know from the rules of thumb, but potentially 2 days on the asphalt, then at 8 inches, this area is not 8 inches, we're going 6 inches. So there's 1, possibly 2 days on the asphalt. The concrete, I'm going to say on the concrete, we're probably looking at 3 days maybe on that concrete. just guessing here, but maybe 3 days just because of all the removal and informing and pouring around the building here and then getting this in, plus the ramp and the curbing. So I'm guessing about 3 days there. And then striping would be 1 day, including putting in the signs and reinstalling the wheel stops. Okay, any other questions, let me know. This is a hot one. It's supposed to start in July, so Let's Pave is trying to get a price in early next week to get this done. As a matter of fact, they're wanting as soon as Monday if we can pull it off. All right.